When you think about it, there's this trope or idea that you see in a lot of different movies and TV shows where you have a character who starts off as a selfish jerk who then goes through a redemptive arc where they learn to be humble and selfless. When you think about it, Cars is a great example of what I'm talking about here because Lightning McQueen starts off as just an arrogant show off racer, but then when he gets to this little town, he grows to genuinely care about the people in the town. He learns to care about someone other than himself. Also, there's a movie called Game Plan that's on Disney Plus, where you have this guy, Joe Kingman, played by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who starts off as a complete narcissist who's self absorbed, that cares only about football. But then he meets his daughter and he grows to genuinely care about her. Also, here's a classic example. Ebenezer Scrooge from A Christmas Carol. You see this because he starts off as a greedy, selfish, cold hearted, uncaring jerk who only cares about making money, who is pushing everyone away. And as we see in the story, if he continues on this current path, when he ultimately does die, there's not a single person who's going to mourn him or miss him at all. People will actually be celebrating that he's finally dead. Like, oh, thanks. Yes, we finally don't have to deal with that penny pinching old miser anymore. But then by the end of the story, Scrooge has changed and he becomes a better person. He grows to care about other people, not push away everyone else in his life. Also, think about the Grinch. This is a classic example. And the whole point of the story is he starts off kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge as a grouchy humbug who doesn't like Christmas at all. But then by the end of the story, there's a change that happens in him where he actually gets why the people of this town care about Christmas. Also, think about Iron Man, Doctor Strange. I talked about this already in my video about these movies. In both cases, you have a selfish, arrogant jerk who goes through a redemptive arc where they learn to be selfless. I think Tony Stark is a fantastic example. As his arc is incredibly powerful. You see pretty much the same thing of Doctor Strange, though so far I don't think it's been done quite as well as Iron Man. Of course, Tony Stark had a lot more time. Also, think about Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, the character Nux just starts off as someone who's working for Martin Joe, who only really cares about pleasing his master. But then by the end of the movie, he performs a heroic sacrifice as he actually has grown to care about these women. He shows his love in the end by laying down his life. Those are some big examples that come to mind right away.